Heather and I are about to chat with
Harold Burnham.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been waiting to talk to him for a long time.
I know we have.
Yeah, we have.
So he'll get settled in the seat here. Yeah, we have, it's a who's who of guests today too. So we're really glad you're joining us here today. It is absolutely gorgeous here in Gloucester. It's a beautiful day for sailing and a beautiful weekend as well. So we hope you come on down and enjoy the festival all weekend long. We'll have more on Maritime Heritage Day, which is tomorrow, but this festival lasts right through the weekend. So if you're out and about, make your way to up 128 and come see us. So, hey, Harold, I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time now.
Hi, Harold. I'm Heather. This is Kory.
Yeah, great to see you. All right, Harold Burnham is a master shipwright situated over in Essex, Massachusetts. And as we just heard, he's built
12 generations now.
12 generations.
Your son is the 12th, right? You lost count.
When it comes to the generational thing, the shipbuilding is not, and the maritime traditions here are not inherited. There's certain traits that are inherited, but what it is a big part of the culture of this area. And it's a culture that isn't locked into any one family, but many families share from many different, very diverse community. And so I try not to get into the whole family thing. The Yankee magazine never mentions that I'm a third generation Sicilian. So,
hey, me too.
But in Gloucester, we have a great mix, and so yes, I'm the 12th generation Burnham, but I'm also a third generation Sicilian American, and I'm equally proud of both.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
Well,
So there's some good cooking in your household too,
well,
or on your ships, on your vessels.
Mary Kay likes butter.
Yeah.
She's Irish, and that's what the Irish love to cook in butter, and I like olive oil. And the two of us mix it up a lot, but I will say that Mary Kay is a phenomenal cook. And I try to keep up with her, and I actually have learned a little bit about Irish cooking from Mary Kay.
Nice.
There we go.
But,
well, so Harold, how much does this weekend mean to you?
Well, it's something I've participated in since I was in high school, I think, when it started, and I used to come over here in my little Beagle Cat. My parents had the Resolute, which is still at the end of the dock here, and Tom Jarvis has now. And, and my family always came to this event as much as we could. I might have missed one or two along the way, but not too many. And it's an amazing thing to see all the vessels out there and see the schooners and the people from here and afar are really celebrating our heritage of this area. It's an amazing story, and it's neat to see people celebrating it, and it's neat that this, the traditions of this area are still going. They're ongoing. My shingle's still above the door over in Essex.
Right.
Everyone talks about how there's only X many schooners left, which is goofy. The reality is that there's a bunch of schooners out there, and if somebody wants one, I'll build them another one. And while I'm doing it, I will be teaching as many people from the next generation as I can. And it's amazing that the Essex Shipbuilding Museum, Catherine Montgomery is just doing an amazing job over there. She's worked with me as an apprentice for the last couple of years, and she's capable, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what she does. And there's a whole generation of people that I've known since they were knee-high to a grasshopper, and they've grown up on these boats, and they don't know a time when there wasn't schooners being built in my yard. They've never seen that not happen.
Right.
And when I was growing up, Brad Story was building boats in the shops, and Nick Hemian, but a lot of people didn't see that because it was inside. And we built the landing and built it outside. And people could see it. It kind of reminded people of a lot of the heritage that we all share.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Just put it outside and have people see it.
Well, it's not like we put it outside. the boat's too big to fit in a shop.
Oh.
And that's the traditional way. It was kind of going back. A lot of the methods that we use now are the heavy frames and the heavy timber and the trunnels. That's the tradition. That's the way that they were traditionally built. For a few years, that was difficult to do because of the economics of the situation, and people wanting more traditional boats for taking people out and sharing our maritime heritage and traditions. Allowed us to build them that way, and allowed them to, make our what was our traditional methods competitive, and make it so that people could make a living on these boats and keep it real and keep it honest.
Yeah. Well, so Harold, we're next to the Ardell. Just to give people who aren't familiar with boat building or don't live anywhere near the water, what goes into the process of building this? Now, how much lumber are we talking about? Or what a time frame?
When somebody asks me about building a boat and they ask the cost, I say it's about a year of my life and the rest of yours. But it's not about the cost. When the 4 of the 5 schooners that I've built are commercial, and when people talk to me about the cost of the boat, the first thing I say is, well, how much can you make with it? And the boats that I've built have supported families, they've paid off mortgages, they've put kids through college, and they've also provided a good summer job for local kids. And unlike some of the larger nonprofit boats that are taking people from all over the country, most of the people that sail on the Ardell are local kids. They make somewhere between 4 and 6 times as much as the nonprofit schooners, and they learn not through study but through observation of how things work, how to run a boat really efficiently, how to work hard, how to please the customers, how to manage with the people, and they learn how to operate a boat. The Ardell, I bring it into the dock maybe a quarter of the time now. There are very few vessels that a young kid can get on and actually land it at the dock, and we learned that the hard way. We had kids get their license on the boat and still be nervous about sailing it, and the way that we overcome that is when we used to land the boat, we'd say, do you want to bring it in? You can learn a lot. Now we say, you are bringing it in, and you will learn a lot. And we've gotten good at saving it, but what we found is that these younger people being forced to handle a 40-ton vessel with 30 or 40 paying passengers on board and do it in front of everybody, they learn quick.
It's impressive, yeah.
And their natural understanding of the world and their senses of the world change. I mean, when you drive a boat, you're not doing math in your head. Everybody says, "Oh, it takes a lot of math to do this." A lot of it is, feel and smell, and sight, and it comes down to your 5 senses. You're coming into the dock, you got to be able to sense how much power you got to give it to stop it. And if you're doing it under sail, you got to sense the wind, and you got to sense the tide, and you got to know what's happening, or you will mung it up horribly. And my job is to not let them do that, but let them do it just enough so they learn every time. So we really encourage them to do that.
Yeah. So Harold, why do you love what you do so much? Because you can tell how passionate you are about this. So what is it?
Well, I just enjoy life a lot. When I wake up every day, I just feel very like life is a gift, and it's a gift that every person should not take for granted. There's a lot of people in this world that don't have what we have, and in this area we have this incredible heritage and this incredible tradition, and that tradition is important. It's tribal. People want to know where they come from and the people they come from and what they're all about, and we have that here on Cape Ann, and the light here is beautiful, and I just don't want to waste a minute of my life, and I want to pass that passion on to the next generation, and you know, show by example that, you know, every day is a beautiful day as long as you're on the right side of the ground, and so I just try to make the most of every minute.
Well, beautifully put. And your work is exquisite, Harold. I mean, we've been admiring it for years, and we're so happy that you spent some time enjoying with us.
We're sitting here looking at the Ardell
Ardell's
there,
right
and the Isabella there, and the Thomas Lannon's somewhere out there, right?
Going back to traditions, that every little detail on a boat, if you have all these lines, you know, you've got a very curved surface, and the curves have to flow right, or the boards won't bend. They have to, everything has to flow together, and there's a natural way that they have to come together to, you know, the way they sit in the water, but it comes down to the traditions in this area go back to a lot of people working very hard to learn as much as they could and then pass it on to others. And so when you look at the Lannon or the Ardell or the Isabella or the Fame, or, you know, I was looking at different generations and what technology existed then, studying the paintings of Fitzhenry Lane and the photographs at the Cape Ann Museum and the books, many books by, you know, Dana Story and Joe Garland and all the others, and trying to not just do something that was about me, but do it about this whole heritage of this area and how the boats come together. And that's the reason they look good isn't because of me, it's because I studied the people that came before and tried to emulate them. It's just a natural the way that they put things together.
Well,
Could you do just do I have time for one more question?
yeah, of course.
A quick description of the 3 schooners that you can see out in Gloucester Harbor on any given summer day: the Adventure, the Lannon, and the Ardell. So what's the difference between those, the basic differences between those 3? It's a pinky.
Well, the largest is that the Ardell and the Lannon are commercial vessels, and they were built by local people who wanted to keep alive the local heritages and traditions, and they were built with real money, real investments by people who had to get a return on that investment. And the way that they're family owned and they're cared for as only an individual who has a lot to lose will care for something. And the Adventure is a non-profit boat, and it's a cool thing, but it's not commercial. And there's not the Adventure spends $500,000 every year to make 50,000, and because it's done with, you know, a lot of love, but also by professionals rather than people that own it.
Yeah, right.
Really
the way
interesting.
they're cared for and the way they're operated is much different. And the Adventure really struggles with that because you can't pay for passion. And the Ardell and the Lannon are just, you know, run on pure passion, and it shows in every little detail. You look at the paint on the boats. I mean, I
Really
admire
shiny,
Heath and what he's done with that boat, and he has set the bar so high, he and Tom, with the Lannon, and we are working as hard as we can to try and make our boats shine like the Lannon, and it's that passion and also the desire to really make it look that good for our customers that makes the Ardell and the Lannon really stand out. And anywhere we go in the Lannon or the Ardell, usually those boats are the best maintained boats in the harbor. And that's something that Gloucester has always carried with it. I mean, her schooners were beautiful and well maintained, and you look at the boats historically that were making the most money, they were also the best maintained. So
That's a great
yeah.
point.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
said. So Harold, if people want to learn more about Burnham boat building and design, how can they go about doing that? Or do you not want to be bothered
Oh,
right now?
the Mass Cultural Council made a fabulous video that's on the Mass Cultural Council website called Harold Burnham Master Shipwright, and they highlight, what we're doing, and also, with the Savannah Beal and what we're doing with that, which is Gloucester's oldest fishing schooner,
Right.
and fastest. And we're looking forward to getting her rebuilt. Probably be a couple of years. We're taking our time with her. We're enjoying it, but when we finish her, it'll also be quite enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, Harold, enjoy the weekend, right? Every day is a gift, just like you said, and we really appreciate your time today, and we admire your work. It's been great to chat with you for a little bit. We'd love to have you back someday.
Well, thanks.
So
Yep.
have a
So
great
much.
weekend. Harold
Okay.
Burnham, folks, master shipwright and boat builder.
And sailmaker. You left that off. And he was also named a National Historic Fellow, National Heritage Fellow by the National Endowment for the Arts.
Yep.
Interested in a sponsorship? Email sponsor@1623studios.org to learn more.